The lesson.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually from South America, so I'm from Peru. I migrated to Australia in 1991.
No.
And yeah, like it took me a while to adapt because obviously even the language, I didn't speak English. So
Oh, true.
I spoke Spanish. Yeah, so I came to Australia speaking nothing but Spanish.
Oh, damn, bro.
And I didn't get put in an English learning center before I got put into mainstream school. I just got dumped in there.
True.
And my experiences in Australia were different to a lot of my friends because of that. And one of the things that it took me a while to sort of gauge an understanding of was the whole thing with Australia Day. And, you know, over the recent years, I think Triple J no longer has their hottest 100 on that day, as they traditionally used to. And, you know, AB Original dropped that single a few years ago, January 26th. And there's a whole conversation around it now that wasn't happening when I first moved to Australia. You know what I mean? It's like, it's become something that's actually spoken about on the big platforms now. Now, as an Indigenous man in Australia, how do you feel about that particular day, the name of that day, the changing of the date, and the whole conversation around that? What's your take on that, and how do you feel about that?
Well, bro, like, you know, being where we are today, you know, it's a major disrespect, man, when, you know, the queen of colonization can get a day of mourning in like a week's notice. But it's, you know, and we still don't have that, you know, and it's been hundreds of years, man. Like, it's been, you know, like you said it yourself, all these platforms are talking about it like we know what the right thing to do is. But it just seems like so ignorant, so stupid, like it's so dumb. You know, like in so many TV shows, they're talking about Columbus Day, but they're talking about how they know it's a day of not to celebrate, you know, like that's all they say in like these American TV shows when they talk about Columbus Day, is that it's actually like Australia Day, you know? Like we know what the right thing to do is, but for some reason, you know, like I feel like I can see why. It's because humans don't like being corrected, man, you know, like we don't like being corrected. And if you do welcome correction, then you're actually gonna grow. You know, if you welcome that, so like if you welcome that sort of thing and you're willing to say, like, you know, if you're wrong, oh yeah, I was wrong. What's right? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, da da da. Like you're like, if you got that kind of mindset, you grow and you grow and you grow. Like, cause I realized like that's been me. I've been wrong at like plenty of times in my life, and I've had to turn. I've had to turn and turn and turn to eventually get to where I am today. Like I've been saying in this interview, like, you know, if I'm going back, like, I don't know what I was thinking back then. Because when I get to today, like, so many things have, like, shaped me, you know? Like, I spent time, like, just mucking around, like, on a path that wasn't for me, you know? And, you know, to come back around and be on this path now, a path for, you know, a path of, like, reconciliation it is, but, like, a path of, like, teaching, you know? I got to teach these kids, like, that even though you might feel out of place, like you do have a place, because we've like our whole lives as like, you know, Indigenous Australians, we've been told that we don't have a place here, you know, like in the place that we had a place. If we don't have a place here, then where do we go? You know what I mean? Like, and so now they're saying that we do have a place. We've been misplaced for so long that we're just lost, bro. Like, you know, like I said, I don't know my culture because it's been lost. That knowledge has been lost. But I know one thing, man. Like when tragedy hits, whoever it is, like whoever like your tribe is or your race or whatever, like you're gonna come together and you're gonna help. Like, you know, like the floods that hit this area, man, like people got hit hard, bro. They lost everything, man, and everyone came together, you know, like everyone around. Like it wasn't about, you know, who you were, it was about where you were. If you're here, then, you know, we coming together because we need it. You know, we all need each other. And, you know, like we said, like it's in this day today, like we're just working and working and working to the point where we're just working for ourselves, or we're working for our family, but we're not really working to contribute to each other. You know what I mean? Like it's not really, you know, it's not the go. And after Taxman takes his chunk, what do you have left to contribute to another person, to another household? You just got to keep that for your household. And like that's the kind of way we've been built to. I don't know. That's how that's how this society is kind of structured now. You know what I mean? But like that never really was the case for us. You know, like growing up, we didn't have anything, man. You know, like mum hitting like people up for loans, and like she getting given food and presents on Christmas, and like, you know, we just always had to get given a lot of shit. And so my mum would give a lot of stuff away because she would understand what it's like to have nothing. And you know, to the other people around us that had nothing, we would all have nothing together, so we could just, you know, so we could have some sort of something, you know, like togetherness, you know, unity. That stuff felt more like, meant more than like having a bunch of shit, you know, and not being connected like that. You know, that's something I, you know, hold dear. Is even though I didn't have a lot growing up, you know, the connections that I made, like the mates that I made from like, oh yeah, you got nothing? Oh shit, I got the same. I go through the same shit. Rah da da da. You know what I mean? Like that connection is something that, like, that's what brings people together. And how I feel is that if you're not on the ground floor, if you're not living it, if you're not trying to like empathize and come down here and like check us out and walk with us, then you're never gonna understand. Like, it's just never gonna be that case. Like, if you're not willing to share your food with us, if you're not willing to open your door and like share with us, then you could never be in a place of giving. You could never like open your heart up like that, you know, without experiencing that struggle, and without coming to experience and walk with us, without experiencing that feeling, how it felt, you're never gonna understand. And the people that walk that feeling, you know, like yourself, you know, people that come from other countries and like they feel misplaced, and people that like might even like they're here on this country and they're from colonized descent, but they still feel out of place because they feel like, oh my God, like it was so wrong. So now I feel misplaced because this is what my ancestors did, but I don't connect with that. They feel misplaced. And it's a whole bunch of like feeling like you don't belong. But the fact of the matter is that like we're here today because we do belong, and we do have a place. We belong in each other's lives, you know, like, and like shit may have went down, man, and like it's fucked up, you know, when you learn about that, when you learn about indigenous issues, but like you learn about why we're here and the real facts and the stuff behind it, man. Like, it's enough to make you like angry, man. But I've reached that like point where like I'm driven by anger, and I'm driven by like I don't know, I'm in a state of confusion, like why would you do this? I'm in a state of like lost hope. I've like feel like I've lost hope. I feel like we're losing and this and that, like, you know, it's a very depressed feeling, man. And like I feel like, what are we gonna do? But that's the thing, man, to reach peace in my own mind, I have to rise above that, you know. And what I see is that like I'm at this understanding because of the stuff that we've been through. because of the stuff that I've been through with my parents, and because of the stuff that I've been through throughout my life, you know, this is why I feel so strongly about my people, you know, because I sat and took the time to listen to the old people. I sat and took the time to listen to my, you know, my Indigenous teacher, you know, teacher of Aboriginal Studies, and you know, I sat and took the time to look at the situations that happened around me, man, and like, yeah, sometimes I wonder why they can't reach this level of understanding, you know. Sometimes I wonder why they just can't get there. But in that sense, like, I can't just stop because of that. Like, people are always gonna be like that, man. People are always gonna be like doing the wrong thing. You know, humans aren't perfect, bro. I swear, like, you know, it's just like that, bro. And I see that people like have trauma on like both sides, man. There's trauma on both sides. It's actually like that, man. And to grow together, I guess we need to just being in this place where everyone's just put together, so many races, so many religions, so many like spiritualities. Everyone's just gonna have to accept one another and have to make time to listen to each other if we're ever gonna get where we're going. You know what I mean? We can't just like, I'll put it this way. When we had 250 different Aboriginal countries coinciding for thousands and thousands of years, there was law put in place, you know, there was rules put in place, and you couldn't go over there, you know, on that country speaking your yarn, because that's not the same one. That's not the same law that they have over there. It's not the same protocols, you know. So if you're going to go over there, you're going to respect that person. You're going to respect that, you know, that you're going to respect that group. You're going to respect that land and its cultures, you know. And you had to be invited. You couldn't just walk over there, you know. But now we're living in this place today where there's no boundaries. You can say whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? And there's no like backlash. And I think that freedom is like just, you know, people can become like very ignorant to the fact, you know. I've even been in that place, man. Like, you know, I was immature at a point in time too, you know. I'll even say I was racist, bro, because of my thinking pattern, you know, because I thought my race was the only race that mattered. But it's not like that, you know what I mean? It's very different. My race is important and my race matters, you know, like, for sure, man. Like, you know, like, but I got into a place of thinking where like we were the only ones that mattered, you know. And I guess that comes from being told that you don't matter, you know what I mean? Being told that you're not needed, being told that you got no place here. You have to step up and claim that, you know what I mean? But then I like, you know, I felt myself become like, you know, just a human. I felt myself be human and make mistakes, and like that pride just took a different turn with me, and I had to step down and like humble myself and just realize that, look, like, you know, there's a reason why you have an understanding of the things around you. It's because you were born into this, you know. And so even though at younger times I resented the way I was brought up, I'm thankful for that, because I have an understanding of the problem. I have an understanding of the issue. And for some reason, the fellas that make the decisions don't. They don't have that understanding, you know. And it's sad, bro. And I would much rather have this understanding than just, yeah, not know what's going on. You know what I mean? I know what's going on, and it's up to me to like do something about it, you know. But like it's on everyone, you know what I mean? Like individually to reach that point. And so, yeah, I mean, how I feel about the day, man, bruh, this should have happened already, my bro. It should have, that respect should have been there. You know, it should have been already done. But I feel like we're moving regardless, man. You know, like people are moving regardless. Non-Indigenous, Indigenous. You know, like these babies aren't stopped being black. These babies are coming, man. I got a baby. We all got babies. We all got, like, you know, the generation is moving up. Like I can't even fathom properly like how fast it's moving, bro. You know, like yeah, it's crazy, bro. I'm gonna be an elder soon. You know what I mean? And it's just like to be that to reach that point. You know, I gotta stay listening. I gotta stay learning. Like, and yeah, I can't be speaking like more than I'm listening, because you know I have to be able to understand what's going on right now, because sometimes I look around in the world like I don't understand what's going on, you know, like the wars and shit like that, my bro, you know, like just world issues, you know, like the shit that you see on the news, like that shit is not just here, that shit is everywhere. Like there's evil in this world, bro. You know what I mean? There's evilness, and like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm trying to make music to fight that shit. You know, not to accommodate it. Not to, you know. I think there's music that accommodates it, and that's just not my type of music, man. My music is like a weapon. I'm making these words to weaponize. You know, like these words are getting weaponized when I speak on tracks, and you know, if I'm gonna spit, I'm not gonna like just say some shit just because it's cool or whatever, because it's just like that ain't me. Like it ain't what I'm supposed to be doing here. I'm supposed to be empowering these kids, man. Like these kids are the most important thing. Like, and I've realized that, bro. Like one thing that I can say, man, and I say it all the time, like I can't believe that I'm playing to these kids, man. You know, like I didn't start out writing words appropriate for these kids. Like that's not where I started, but that's where I'm at now. I'm rapping to these children, you know, like, and I'm teaching them and I'm empowering them, and I'm going inside schools, you know, like I've been in that many schools over like the past years, but like I just don't put it up, because I don't do it just to put it up. I don't do it to be like I'm here. I'm just here, you know, like trying to lead the way, and you know, like, because that's something that you don't have a choice in, you know, like you're born to be a role model, you're born to be looked at, and you're always going to be looked at, like whether you got little nieces or nephews or a son or a daughter, or if you don't have any of them, you're still going to be looked at. The kids are still going to look at you and watch you and how you walk, and you know, all that.
The lesson. 927. Oh yeah.